So as I said in my previous videos, I was messing around with the idea of potentially selling my Duramax. I just bought a 2004 Duramax. It had 140,000 miles on it. It was kind of a toy / impulse buy. So it seemed like a really good idea at the time. But so I bought it and I had a little fun with it, but then I was just thinking about the future repairs if anything went wrong with it. I know they last forever is what people say, so long as you take care of them, which of course I would, but you never know what's going to happen, especially with the older used vehicle, especially something that was likely used for towing. So I had to consider that when purchasing it, but I took the dive anyway. Regardless, I made a slight profit, of course, as I stated, and it seemed like I'm looking at purchasing another vehicle at some point in time. Sometime soon. I don't know what it's going to be yet. Probably not a toy. Again, probably going to be replacing the 2013 Fusion I bought last year around this time. And really, I don't need to replace it, and I don't want to replace it necessarily. I'd rather save up money and put away money for another toy, but just in the winter it's kind of necessary around here, especially since I'm going to be traveling a lot. I travel roughly 4 times a month to Minnesota. Just necessary trips that I need to make. But yeah, you never know with that. The other thing I wanted to talk about was just the needs versus wants from having the toy Duramax. I wanted a toy that I could have fun with. I wasn't even considering the price of what I would pay every month and what fuel costs and maintenance and everything would cost. I purchased it needing an oil change shortly at the time, and then it would have needed new tires at some point in time. So with that being said, it had big 35-inch tires, and those alone would have probably cost about $1,200. The oil change would have cost, with it being a diesel, right around probably $150 to $200 if I didn't do it myself, is my guess. I just calculated it with the oil necessary to actually make the oil change or do the oil change. But yeah, that was all necessary stuff, and the other potential expenses would have probably been just the shocks and keeping up, because it did have a lift kit, and just it would have likely needed work, not needed, but just to keep up with the vehicle. So I wanted to avoid all that. I didn't want to put a bunch of money into it. I did consider customizing it, doing some customizations to it, just light customizations, nothing too crazy. I wanted to keep it as stock as possible. So when I did sell it, and yes, I did always plan to sell it, I just didn't plan to sell it soon. But when when the opportunity knocks, I had to take it. And the other thing is, like I was saying, just upkeep and paying all the necessary expenses every month, and I calculated it to about $400. Mind you, this is just it being a toy, actually being driven, insurance, car payment, or truck payment in this case, I guess it would have been. But yeah, it was just all necessary stuff that was required for it, and I would have kept it a little bit longer, but it just didn't make a whole lot of sense, so I would have preferred just putting $400 away a month